attention going unconventional conventionalists, and welcome to another Bad Girls movie review. Now this time around we got a very special one for you, because for the first time on my YouTube channel I am reviewing an independent film, and that film is none other than Iron Lung. Now right away, well actually it's just barely out of the shot unfortunately, but here down in the corner it says, a film by Markiplier. Now here on YouTube, we all know Markiplier, don't we? Yes. So for like the 7 of you watching that don't, Markiplier is a very famous, very popular, very well-known YouTuber. And he's been going at it for, 15 years, I think. He was first made popular in 2014 with his Let's Plays of Five Nights at Freddy's. I think he's actually a big reason why Five Nights at Freddy's got as popular as it did. Well, he's kind of given Iron Lung the same treatment, because you see, before it was a movie, Iron Lung was a video game. It was just an indie game available on Steam, and he played it and he really got into it. He really liked it. He contacted the creator of the game and wanted to make it into a movie. Now what's great about Iron Lung is that it is 100% self-funded and self-distributed. There are no publishing companies, no CEOs, no nothing. No, Markiplier is the CEO, alright? He called all the shots, he made all the rules, and the entire budget of the film came out of his pocket. This could reshape the independent film industry as we know it. So, for those of you unfamiliar with the video game, the simple premises of Iron Lung is that you play as a convict who is pretty much sent on a suicide mission in a submarine on a moon called AT5, and that has a blood ocean. And in this submarine called the Iron Lung, you are to photograph anomalies within this cavern system of the blood ocean. Well, it becomes apparent pretty quick that you're not alone in that ocean. So this movie is going to expand upon that story a lot. And, you know, I'm sure you've noticed I'm dressed up. I mentioned the blood ocean of the moon AT5. That's me, baby. I'm AT5's blood ocean. We're gonna go in and watch it. I'll meet you guys right back out here, and I'll tell you all about Iron Lung. Let's do it. Okay, I watched the movie. So I decided to record the rest of the review here in my apartment for 2 reasons. One of them is because the theater had gotten very crowded and very noisy later in the night. But the other reason is I needed time to mentally process what the fuck I just watched, because that was a fucking trip. So the first thing I want to commend is the movie's accuracy to the game, at least in the set design, because the Iron Lung submarine is a exact recreation of what's in the game. Everything is in the exact positions that they're found in the game. The fire extinguisher, the computer, the photo mechanism at the back, the controls at the front, exact replica. And I really appreciate that attention to detail. Another thing I want to commend is Mark's acting. Yeah, Markiplier is a great actor. Like, when it comes to YouTubers turned actors, you tend to keep your expectations pretty low. But you can raise him a bit for Markiplier because he put on a stellar performance, especially considering the fact that 95% of the movie is all him. He is like not just the protagonist, but pretty much the only character. Exceptions are some kind of supporting role characters, such as Ava, played by Caroline Kaplan, a relatively well-known actress, and also Jack, played by Jacksepticeye. Yes, but both of these characters do appear on screen briefly, but their roles are very minor in comparison to Markiplier himself. We also get some voice acting work from Troy Baker, which is always great. Now, a common complaint that I hear about this movie is that it is a slow burn. It is. It is. So, for the entire first half, I would even go as far as to say the first 2/3 of the movie, it's mostly Simon, the convict, trying to figure out the sub, discovering, hidden things, discovering the computer, discovering the underneath the sub, an entirely new area that is not in the game, or at least not accessible in the game, making some plans, literally mapping things out. And that does take up a lot of the movie's runtime. And yeah, things do pick up a lot closer to the end. But honestly, I didn't mind the slow burn. Like, I was engaged throughout the whole thing. I was never bored. I didn't get up to go to the bathroom like a couple others did. I was engaged the entire time. I guess it comes down to, like how much brain rot have you been taking in, If you're old like me, you have the patience to, watch a plot unfold very slowly and you enjoy it, but I know these days a lot of people lack that patience, and it's honestly kind of sad. So I also hear a lot of people call this movie an eldritch horror. And yeah, that's accurate. That tracks. But I don't hear enough people saying that it also kind of falls under psychological horror, because we're watching, the slow descent into insanity by the character Simon. And that's psychological. That is psychological horror. But now I think we are going to go into spoilers. Let's jump right in. Jump right into the spoilers, guys. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you don't want spoilers, you can jump ahead to this timestamp right here. That one there. That one. This one. There it is there. If you're still here, I'm assuming you saw the movie. And so let's jump right into it. A small complaint that I have is that the movie did not feature all of the anomalies that you find in the game. Most notably, the missing anomalies, at least the really big ones in my opinion, were the worm pipes. The worm pipes are a very interesting anomaly in the game because they are one of only two that actually makes a sound. Well, three if you count one. There's like an Easter egg, a hidden anomaly that is not marked on the map that also makes sounds. But as far as anomalies that are on the map that do make sounds, the worms is one of them, and we'll get to the other one in a minute. But the worm pipes were not in the movie, and that kind of bothered me, just because the worm pipes are such an interesting find in the game. Another anomaly in the game that's not in the movie are the temple walls. There are submerged temples in this blood ocean, which really plays into, the Christianity undertones of the movie. And I don't know, it's just, I really, really thought that this movie would cycle through all the anomalies of the game and then some, but it didn't. it didn't. It ignored a lot and kind of made up new ones, and it's fine. It's fine. Another complaint I have is that Simon's childhood memories felt unnecessary. I don't really feel like that contributed anything to the plot. I get it, that he was knocked out and he was kind of having some PTSD-induced dreams, but it just felt pointless. I don't really see what that contributed to the story beyond the fact that Simon has a traumatic past, but I think that's something we could have pieced together. Another thing that kind of surprised me, another thing that's only in the movie and not in the game, the fish creature speaks? I'm sorry, what? That ugly-ass motherfucker talks? And it's a girl? The fish has pronouns? Okay, that's fine, I guess. I guess it kind of raises the question, was the fish actually speaking, or was that Simon's psychosis? Was that him just being so far over the deep end that he couldn't come back? That was a choice. But yeah, the ending, the way the movie ended, when the credits started rolling, my theater was silent. We were stunned. We had to kind of take a moment, that ending. Ooh, that was a lot. That was overstimulating, honestly. I will tell you about a part of the movie where the theater was not completely quiet. When Markiplier took his shirt off. We've reached the timestamp. We're here. Hey guys, thanks for rejoining us, because now it's time for the final thoughts and the score. So, final thoughts. If you like Markiplier, you like the game Iron Lung, you're gonna like the movie. If you don't know Markiplier and you don't know the game Iron Lung, you're not gonna like the movie. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure critics are going to hate this movie. But it wasn't made for the critics, it was made for the fans. Iron Lung is giving out the FNAF 2 treatment. So now let's go ahead and rate it. Well, I'll say this much. As an independent film, 10 out of 10. Because this is crazy. The fact that this was done on a personal budget and no sponsorships, no CEOs, just Mark and a team that he assembled himself, and they made this shit happen, and it's fucking incredible. But unfortunately, this is not Bad Girls independent movie reviews. I have to put Iron Lung in the same class as all the other movies I reviewed to this point. Bad Girls Bitch Blog gives Iron Lung by Markiplier 8 sunken bloody submarines out of 10. I'll see you guys at Toronto Comic Con. Until then, I love you guys. Stay sexy, and keep on masturbating. Salute.